Have you noticed that we haven't had much of a crypto cycle yet? Yeah, we had a Bitcoin move and we had an ETH move, but we haven't had the cycle yet. So what does that mean? You're going to have the whole cycle in 5 months. Don't believe me? Stick around. Want the details? I got them for you. This is the Market Update. I am your host, Bill Noble. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we have a morning, evening, and VIP streams and now videos in the YouTube member area. If you're looking to get set up for September, the YouTube member area now has actual recorded videos where we are taking our Gann analysis to another level. So just so you know, and I got another one queued up on my desk: buys, sells, take profits, buy the dip, the whole 9 yards for the shortest cycle of all time. Top coins for September here. 10x altcoins for a repeat of the 2017 cycle. Did I mention a 4-month monster up move? And of course, our friendly neighborhood Solana Psychic is after it with all kinds of picks as we mix her work with the Gann model. It is unstoppable. You want to know where Ethereum's going? Check out today's podcast. Okay, what do you need to know? Well, let's start with something you're used to, which is that Michael Saylor bought Bitcoin at 110. He actually bought a lot of it, 4,000 Bitcoin. Now, during the last week of August, we kind of took that off. You know, sometimes in research, you have to take a step back, let the quiet blah market pass. You know, do you know how much the cycle's over? You know, everybody was freaking out about a geopolitical event that didn't happen at the end of the month, end of August. Then all of a sudden you had this euphoric bounce. Well, why did you get the decline to begin with? For the reason we always talk about. Michael Saylor buys, market makers hit the market trying to get their crypto back. You know, it's very interesting in Bitcoin that Bitcoin is now like above where it was when Michael Saylor bought it. So just like the title says, how many dips do you have left? This is a very important question to ask yourself. And it's a great month to think about it because it is eclipse season. You have a lunar eclipse on the 7th and a solar eclipse on the 22nd. All of the members in Patreon are set up, locked, and loaded with an eclipse plan, when to buy, when to sell. Okay, now safe to say, we are looking for dip opportunities. You should get a lot of extreme volatility in this month. Could be way up. If you look at Solana, like how can you argue that upside volatility doesn't exist? However, as with all things, when people start FOMOing in a choppy environment, even though it's difficult, buying when it's up and selling when it's down may not be the way to go. Again, Michael Saylor just bought Bitcoin when everybody thought it was going to zero. And I think we have to do we have to redefine what a Bitcoin or Ethereum treasury company is. And here's what I mean. Everyone's like, well, here's a stock and they're going to borrow a bunch of money to speculate in cryptocurrencies. I think 5 years from now, they're going to be remembered as a bunch of smart people who decided to hedge themselves against any problem in fiat. I mean, the fiat stuff, it just seems like it never ends. You know, the Fed's going to cut rates and our bond market is pricing in higher interest rates for things like 30-year bonds, which are attached to mortgages. You know, European government debt. You could just go on and on and on and on, which I did this morning, and I went on and on and on and on, and I got told what I usually get told on the podcast, which you'll have to watch on the podcast. But safe to say that there's a new and different world out there. And there's been a new and different world out there for an extended period of time. But that has not been fully traded in crypto. It's been traded in Bitcoin because of the pressure that guys like Michael Saylor and the Bitcoin ETF players can exert. The rest of the market has not participated. And when you have whatever you're going to have in September, right, whatever chop, whatever goes on, this is last chance shopping. It's not last chance FOMO. That's later. But this could literally be last chance shopping for a cycle that occurs in a compressed period of time. Because there are coins, some of them cross-chain. I'm sitting on the list right now. So that's the next video in the YouTube member area. So if there's a join button somewhere on here, you might want to do that. Because not only is, there's a buy list in the podcast, but we're also going to have a dip list coming up like in the next 36 hours. Like stuff that's way up that you're going to want to buy the dip on. Right? These coins, when they take off, when people start realizing that, oh my God, the crypto ecosystem is for real. Keeping in mind, the government has done a deal with Pyth, the #1 Gann pick from our model, right? For like data management. JP Morgan has done a deal with Paul Tudor Jones's crypto hedge fund, Numer AI. This is happening. This is not some theoretical exercise anymore. You need two things. You need some hype and one deal. And if that hops around the market, guess what? You're going to have massively higher prices in a very rapid way. It was one of our guys that I respect. He's like, the crypto cycle is going to be longer than you think. That's probably true. But my headline is it's going to be shorter than you think because you're going to have a very, very compressed period of rapid gains, which is why MetaPlanet, MicroStrategy, all of these players are coming in. And of course, this has a tilt toward legacy. I mean, the health of the executive branch is in question. The unemployment, soon to be the unenjoyment number on Friday, is predicted to be horrendous. And if it's not horrendous, the revisions will be. So there's a rude awakening coming on employment. The economy is probably going to run a little hot. I don't know if inflation is the big disaster everyone thinks it's going to be. I'm hearing all this like, oh, it's going to come back. Okay, if it comes back, it's going to be because, of data center build out and AI. But AI productivity gains, this is good for crypto. AI productivity gains should keep the massive inflation that occurred earlier lower, right? It won't happen again is what I'm saying. Last time it was a tight labor market and you didn't have the productivity yet from AI. Now, you can let coders or tech people go because these machines are going to be writing their own code. And as we discussed in the shorter live streams, thought leaders are talking about robots. If you put a large language model inside of a robot operating system, that effectively is artificial general intelligence that can actually walk around the office and work. You're going to see that next year. And if you're going to see it next year, they're going to trade it right now. It's like, know any robot coins? I talked about one this morning. Okay. And then, I'm looking at something called Geode, which, we have to research these things, but there isn't even a consensus robot trade in crypto. And there's a lot of underappreciated decentralized cloud, data management, identity management, privacy plays. No one's even talking about it. I'm seriously. And then what happens is ETH becomes the example. In other words, you wake up one day and it's like, ETH was at 2,000 and that ETH was at 4,800. We have articles about like, Jack Ma and all these, guys out of Asia want to buy Ethereum. Tom Lee's company wants 5% of the total Ethereum supply and is going to do the Michael Saylor and is going to pay any price, and they're probably going to be right. In other words, these assets are undervalued. Crypto exchange Gemini is coming out, and they're going public with a $2 billion valuation. Let me tell you something. They have marquee names at the top, whether you like them or not. And I don't think that company is worth $2 billion. I think it's worth a lot more than that. I think it's worth more than Circle. Because again, if you have like New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, these crypto exchanges are the new investment banks. In a way, I mean, Galaxy is the ultimate crypto investment banks. But these exchanges, I mean, Coinbase has got like, hey, we're going to put Mag 7 stocks we're going to put the Bitcoin ETF and the Ethereum ETF and make it the Magnificent 9 and offer a futures contract. This is like what investment banks used to do. Seriously. So the Gemini IPO is out, and I think that could produce shocking returns. Shocking. So we are set up for like a tactical bid, perhaps in the next week. You do have to be careful about shocks during eclipse season. But at the end of the day, you're looking at a 4-month crypto cycle. You're looking at a 4-month cycle. Everyone's like, oh, when is this? The cycle was over 3 days ago, according to most of YouTube, or at least the headline writers for most of YouTube. Not true. And of course, this says absolutely nothing about Solana. Solana is getting some sort of technical makeover. So the validators finally voted for something to make price go up. It's about time, right? It's funny how people come around to these things when it's like, oh, gee, we underperformed. Ethereum doubled and we didn't do anything because we're the meme token. Uh-oh. We better do something about that. Yeah, actually, you better. This says nothing about things like XRP, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash, normie coins. If you have a compressed cycle, no one's talked about this. If you have a compressed cycle and the general public has seen these type of ramps before, maybe they don't remember 2017, but they might remember 2021. And there is a possibility that after the eclipse chop, because we've already seen it, right? I mean, they were selling it with reckless abandon at the end of August. For what reason, I don't know. Producing a horrendous looking monthly candlestick. Now they're all back again, and everything is going to be like, oh my God, it's going massively higher. 8,000 Ethereum. These things can all happen, but you do have to watch the chop. You're still in a position where, again, we covered this on the YouTube member podcast, which is why you want to get the research. Like, Patreon has a huge report this morning, which we actually also went over on the podcast. So we actually went, we're calling it Bill's Book Report Deluxe, where we actually write reports that go in Patreon, and then we turn around and discuss them at length on the podcast. So if you want to read the report, you can read the report. If you want to listen to the report as a podcast plus Toby, can't imagine anything better, then that's in the YouTube member area, which, by the way, is coming up on its 1-year anniversary. 1-year anniversary of offering YouTube memberships. Meanwhile, back at the Legacy Ranch, gold just hit 3,600. We are seeing things in Legacy that would indicate that cryptocurrency is the future. I bought an Amazon gift card today with my antivirus tokens. It was kind of cool. And no one saw it. No one. Privacy is going to matter. They are collecting every single form of data that they can. They want you to switch from a phone to sunglasses. So you'll have your phone, your sunglasses, and your watch. Your beating heart will be fed into a model. Not me. Not doing it. Not doing it. Get outside the system. Why are you watching the show? Because you got to get outside the system. You got to get the altcoin picks. You got to get the TA, and you've got to get the right information. Like, have you seen this Bitcoin hash rate? Everyone's like, Bitcoin is done. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe not. Right? These miners, like, I got guys on that morning stream because we pick up a lot of people from Asia. They're like, how do we get AI and crypto at the same time? How can we take advantage of the theme? Well, the theme is it's in the crypto equities, which, by the way, we published an absolutely monster report on. Like, we've done crypto equities before, but not like this. Not like this for Patreon Platinum. Here it is. I'm pulling it up now. I mean, friend or foe, the eclipse. Okay, that's very important. That was today's paper, essentially. We found the layer 1 in there at a $41 million market cap. The top pick out of there was a layer 1 with a $41 million market cap. And this report on crypto stocks, dude, there's a reason why I'm wearing a suit for that one. That's got energy plus AI plus crypto, all of it. It's there. Hut mining, basically, if you want to know what stocks to own, you could just go in Patreon and ask T-Bone because he owns them all already. He doesn't have them all, but that report is probably one of the better things we've ever done. And the reason it's one of the better things we've ever done is that I think it's never been more timely. Right? I mean, if you came in, if you walked into crypto office and said, okay, we got 30 days to get ready for the most epic thing anyone's ever seen. I mean, have you seen what's going on in Europe? Right? I mean, people getting, you have like social disorder. We discussed social disorder on the podcast this morning and how geopolitical events and old-fashioned legacy, like, oh, what's dollar yen doing? Yeah, I mean, I've already been told by Toby to put the dollar yen and all that stuff away, which I have, which is why we have the Gann model, or otherwise known as book reports. By the way, if anybody wants to know what a book report was, way back in the day, you would actually read a book in school and then like write an essay and give that to the teacher. You used to do that before AI. So now we have our Gann model cranking out stuff. We might share some of that stuff today. Getting the right altcoins in September matters, especially if you get a dip. I mean, Solana may be done dipping. Solana is ready to obviously dramatically outperform everything when this gets started. And the whole concept of layer 1s, if you look at what's up out of the gate, I mean, effectively today is like, it's kind of like January 1. It's kind of like you're coming off of Christmas, everyone's on vacation. Everybody on the East Coast packs up the white pants. They put the blue suit back on. They get the trench coat ready. Crypto Shaman becomes a VIP all access member. Gregory Hay likes the new report, and I'm glad to hear that. Mr. Shaman, welcome to the group. Welcome. Okay. And also, obviously, to our members, we appreciate your business. We do. Now, other reasons to do crypto, and I love that somebody got the idea. This is actual journalism. I like it. Peter Thiel versus Michael Saylor. Crypto treasury bet or bubble. Okay. So Peter Thiel is doing a crypto treasury company. And of course, we have Mike over here. Now, what's the real difference between Peter Thiel and Michael Saylor? Ready? One of them is pro-human. One of them is anti-human. One of them wants to influence the human race for the better. The other one wants to change the human race. Have the human race on one knee, worshiping a god that they create. Yeah, these people are out there. You know, Silicon Valley announced this morning that one big player has got itself a closed, centralized blockchain that's supposed to put XRP out of business. I'm like, really? Is that so? If it's all the same to you, if it's a choice between Peter Thiel and Michael Saylor, I'll take Michael Saylor every day of the week because he's betting on a decentralized future, whereas the Peter Thiels of the world are betting that they, along with Skynet, rule the world. And as you can tell, I really don't have much of an opinion on the matter. Today is an easy day to love crypto. And you know what? You should look at it and relish it. Because if there are any weird days, just like the end of last month, right? Like, oh, I wasn't bearish at the end of last month. I was bearish at the end of last month. I was like, oh my God. Eagle King's like, I'm going on vacation. I'm like, thank God. Thank God. I got to step away from this because I'm going to get negative. I'm going to get all wound up in the price action. Thank God I just simply walked away. I made a bunch of videos. And again, we got the videos, people. You know, like what happens if this is a 2017 repeat? What happens? Where's ETH and Solana going? You have no idea what can happen here. I mean, 2017 was the creation of Tether and hype. That's it. That was 2017. This, you have massive stablecoin proliferation. You have an altcoin sector that has done absolutely nothing. Nothing. You could argue ETH at 4,000 is absolutely nothing. It is. It's absolutely nothing. Solana closed the month above 180. That matters. We'll go over the chart. There's all this stuff going on. Corporations are buying it. And speaking of sovereigns buying it, you know, they gave these guys at World Liberty a really hard time on whatever they did recently. And I know that, you know, the two meme coins that they did in January were kind of a disaster, even though I did like the idea. I like antivirus much better. Animated cartoon series on McAfee's life coming out Friday. You will, every time you watch a video of McAfee, everything he was saying in 2018 actually did come true. Back to what the Trump kids know. They issued a coin, or they did a token release for World Liberty at the bottom of the market. It's funny that the Trump family loves to do stuff in bear markets. Like the Orange Man did all of his ETH NFTs in 2019. And they did this World Liberty thing, and everybody panned it because, like all these things, it went up and then it went down. Well, the Gann model flagged World Liberty as a possible value investing buy. Now, why would that be? What do these kids know that you and I don't know? Or what do these kids know that you and I are in denial about? Are we in denial about what's really going on, about why 30-year bonds aren't trading well? You know, that you have massive social disorder in Europe, you know, censorship, you know, Elon on Twitter trying to fight the power, even though he should have let AI McAfee talk instead. He should have, right? He should have. Because the things that that guy thought about crypto, especially when it comes to our narratives, real world assets lending, cross-chain trading. I mean, when this base network gets cranked up, you know, I mean, I know ETH. I know ETH wakes up base and moves everything from base to Coinbase. Quick question: which report is this, Patreon or YouTube? So there's a report in Patreon from last night that was discussed in depth on the podcast on YouTube. So we have reports now in multiple places. You can read it on paper in Patreon or listen about it in YouTube. Today was the first day we tried both. Then there are separate videos in the YouTube member area about top coins for September, right? And then, you know, more top coins in the event that you have a 2017 repeat. So if you're in YouTube, you got videos and discussions about coins. If you want reports, that's in Patreon along with 6th Street Crypto, which I can guarantee you I will light that thing up. 6th Street Crypto will be lit up as like a research summary process as this thing unfolds, because it is going to unfold. And we discussed in depth, you have a lunar eclipse on the 7th and a solar eclipse on the 22nd of September. And we just got done telling people exactly how to play that. And the coins and how to, I mean, we're nuancing this down to stuff that's up that we like that could dip, and stuff that's just been like pushed to the side of the road. Like these two are like, you know, coin picks, and then we're going to be nuancing it in the next 36 hours. Like I said, one of these coins has a $41 million market cap, and I can give you two for free because they're older coins, right? One of them is Compound. Compound was the original DeFi play. Steve J will tell you this, right? And what's Compound done? Nothing. Everyone's like, oh, ETH's going to 8,000. Banned Protocol, DeFi oracles went up, went straight back down again. Bag holders got out of everything. Everything in ETH DeFi went straight up and straight back down again. It's like Christmas, right? And the other one we had, which was a layer one, which, believe it or not, I mean, God bless the person, because I get it, but we had Rose, which was a top coin at a company that I used to work at. I remember this guy. His name was Mike. Love this guy. Really mellow. And he was like, you know what? I really like this private, fast layer one, right? We are all over. And again, God bless somebody who, when I asked, named 5 layer ones, he went into the comments and named 5 layer ones. I'm like, dude, I love you. You can name 5 layer ones outside the obvious. You are ready for what comes next. You are ready for what comes next. Bitcoin taking out 11,500. Okay. George Hay likes 6th Street Crypto. You know, that is essentially me saying everything you can't say on YouTube. That is in Patreon. I know we're in 2 different places, just in case, you know, someone wakes up one day and decides to shut us off. And you know what? I don't mind bringing some attention to this, because my heart does go out to this person, because it happened to antivirus. This is Jemmy Wong, who's recently put out a message in the YouTube influencer chat. Okay. Jemmy had her Twitter account hacked, and she's having better conversations with the hackers than she is with whoever is running Twitter. Twitter says she doesn't own her account because she's talking to her robots. And if you want to do her a favor, it's Gem Crypto. Hopefully she's back. They shut her account off because it was hacked. And then they said she didn't own her account. Do you own your data, or do they own you? This is an important question to be asking yourself. Looks like she got her account back. That's because we all threw a fit. A random aside. Okay, Steve J is the DeFi god, according to T-Bone. Steve J he never left. I mean, Steve J was like, yeah, I'm doing DeFi in 2023. Thanks. I'm not getting out ever, right? We'll do DeFi perp every single day. I'm not getting out, right? Nevermind says the Web 2 Layer 1 is going to be a top 10 coin. And this is also a public service announcement that says, you know what? These other characters, they can pay. I'm sorry, they can play too. You best get investing in whatever you want, in whatever you need to get. You best get busy on this because they are, and they are coming. We have Murdoch. Welcome, sir. Becomes a member. VIP all access. Do top coins for September. Top coins for the parabolic. And Toby was like, bro, you're not sleeping. We need a take profits, buy the dip list, and a value investing list. Call me when it's done. I'm almost there. We are in full NFA mode across all research products. All research products. TA. Okay, Solana versus Ethereum. This literally may be all you need to know. I had one of these Gann models suggest today buying the Pump.fun token. I'm like, wow, this model's really going to town on this compressed cycle idea. I have to decide whether or not I'm going with that or not. Solana versus Ethereum. It's a bottom. Nope. It's a bottom. Nope. It's a bottom. Yup. Finally got the bottom. This is how dramatic the underperformance of Solana versus Ethereum is. And again, that looks just like, you know, Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Underperform, 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 underperform. The only thing that hasn't dipped yet is ETH, and that's actually a possibility at some point, right? Because eclipse season can be weird. We're ready for weird. We're not bearish. We're ready. We're just ready to just pounce on this thing. We're going, it's like, we're basically taking the big rich model and we're mushrooming it out through research. We're mushrooming it out. Like everyone else is like, well, you know, it's the cycle. ETH's going to 10K. Yeah, we know all that already. We know all that. What about the whole ecosystem underneath it? Like even Sui, you know, Sui on DeMark. This is clearly, there's a 4 here. So this is a wave 4. And there's going to be a wave 5. And it's going to be enormous. It's going to be a massive new high. It's only a question of when it starts. Now, this candlestick setup is gorgeous. You know, this engulfing pattern, you know, takes out the last couple of days. Very nice. Very attractive. Now, on that note, so you have a beautiful look here in Bitcoin. You had the 9 top and it went down. And you have the 9 bottom. What was it? 107? Wow. 107. Kids had fun at the end of August while all the grown-ups were at the beach, huh? 107. Everyone's like, it's over. The cycle's done. The top is in. Do you know how many, like 2021? It's like everyone's like, oh my God, it's over. It's the eclipse. It's done. Yeah, dude, that was the FTX trade, right? Everybody is always trying to do the last trade. Don't do the last trade. Do the new trade. That might be a new marquee tweet. Do the new trade. You want to know what the new trade is? You know who's got the new trade? I'll give you a hint. Toby Ward. Toby Ward. Okay. Murdoch says we're the only source of the sun, the moon, and the stars, the playground of billionaires. Actually, we use the work of William Gann in a unique way, right? We have Toby and we have a computer model. Catchy. Sometimes you got to have like $3,000 a month software and pay huge amounts of money for Gann subscriptions. Not anymore. Not anymore. So back to Bitcoin. We would love if Bitcoin would like blow through 112. That would be fantastic. We do not want to see a failed rally. We do not. Whatever's going on today, we want it to stick, 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 and stick. No failed rallies. That would clearly be no bueno. To demonstrate this part about ETH DeFi, Band Protocol, DeFi oracles, all the way up on the ETH breakout, bag holders sell. Everybody in a big hurry to sell. Respectfully, wrong. Wrong. Like the newspaper is like, Tom Lee says ETH's going to AK. ETH's going to AK, and everyone does like the Muppet Show. Remember the Muppet Show? All the Muppets are like, yeah. The Muppets think ETH's going to 10K, but they don't want to touch anything underneath the surface. Okay, you have a 9 bottom in ETH, which means you could have a nice pop in ETH tomorrow. That's possible. Even with this, you do not want to see a failed rally. You don't. Now, on the other hand, there would be a lot of joy if, Bitcoin got rejected up here at this Gann line at one. Let me make sure I got the right Gann line here. I got it lined up. Okay, I got it lined up. You got a lot of resistance in Bitcoin around 113. And, maybe altcoins can get going, but like if Bitcoin can't get going and ETH rallies for 5 days and then comes off, right? If there's any kind of volatility in September, you could get one final shot in ETH. Matter of fact, that was the when is in the podcast, but you're going to get one final shot. I mean, I can't believe you're going to get anything less than 107. I mean, Dinwits were talking about 103 and 104 on Twitter. I'm like, oh my God. Thank God the Eagle King is on vacation. I'm like, 103, 104. I'm going to the pool. Have a nice day. I'm not doing that. Absolutely not doing that. And of course, you may have 116, 125, 6,000. You may have all of that tomorrow morning. That's fine. I still don't think this market is positioned for what actually can transpire. It isn't. It just isn't. Like, can somebody explain to me, like, they pushed XRP below equilibrium with everyone. Look at him puking this. Really? Wow. I mean, again, you got to think, like, I realize that people aren't going to put XRP in the same basket mentally as French government debt. I think you got to start doing that. You got to start doing that. Right? It's money. Different. The Swiss National Bank. Okay, check this out. So the Swiss National Bank, the central bank of Switzerland, is probably the world's biggest hedge fund. That's really how they operate. I mean, it's a hedge fund. They're massive investors in U.S. equities. They hold huge foreign currency reserves. You got to remember, the banking system in Switzerland has a banking system that, is the size of a major country. And, it's a very small population. So the amount of money flying around Switzerland, the amount of money managed by the central bank is epic. It's absolutely epic. They're talking about rotating out of the dollar, ready for this, into the euro. Do you got any idea what happens to the dollar if someone of that size starts selling dollars? Oh my God. Right? This is not factored in. Selling XRP at $2.71, and I'm reading in the Goldman Sachs chat room that the Swiss National Bank is talking about rotating out of the dollar. You got the president of the United States disappearing for 2 days, and you got, Peter Thiel's alien robot monster next in line. Sorry, did I say that with the out loud voice? Whoops. People, this is crypto positive. This is crypto positive. Now, I'll tell you something else about my kind of prayer for an altcoin dip. One final dip. This is Bitcoin dominance on a daily chart. So obviously Bitcoin has underperformed, obviously. And, you know, that could continue. Bitcoin dominance sat at its premium zone for a very long time. But Bitcoin dominance is at the discount zone, which means one of two things. That means if there's no dip, these dealers that sold 4,000 Bitcoin to Michael Saylor are going to have to scramble to get it back. That's choice one. Choice two is that, you know, altcoins could have a wobble effect between the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. And any such wobble or any smackadoo is clearly an entry point. Because again, we're talking about a compressed cycle. You know, guys are like, oh, the crypto cycle is going to last much longer than you think. Yeah, probably. But you're going to have compressed action. You'll do a full cycle in 4 months. Then you'll do the everything crash. Then it'll turn around and go right back up again. We're going to do these. And this is what's been going on, right? This is, you know, we've gone all the way up and all the way down twice. We've round tripped the whole market twice. It could happen again, except this rally could be larger and the ensuing correction could be a lot smaller. Right? And no one is ready for this. I mean, again, they were talking about it all being over 2 days ago. Solana never moved. First, we couldn't get Solana above 80. First, we couldn't get Solana above 180. Now we can't get it can't go back below 200. Like, that should be telling you something. Right. I mean, it's the giant cup and handle. I mean, this is like, I thought about putting this on Twitter, but then I was like, you know what? It's the one chart market update. You have a cup and handle in Solana, and then the ninnies over at the end of August, for whatever reason, mercilessly sold this thing for 1, 2, 3, 4 days right into a support zone. LuxAlgo put support underneath this rally that popped up, and they just relentlessly sold it right into support. They're like, oh, here you go. Right? And I don't know if I mentioned this before. I'm seeing it in the comments. You know, World Liberty, these kids that did this, yeah, that token got hammered, and it's easy to call them grifters. But what exactly do they know that you don't? You know, I mean, they know they can make money on crypto because of their name, and they're trying to make as much money as they can and then run it through a mixer so they can disappear, so they can get away from whatever character comes into power next, or whatever character comes into power 10 years from now. But they know how much money has to be printed. They do. And it's a lot. It's a lot. Everyone's like, oh, when is Powell going to lower rates? Dude, that is not the issue. It's not. Right? It's how much money are they going to have to put in circulation to cushion whatever disturbance is out there. Our members are out there super chatting again. God bless them. Okay. TAO. Again, another classic example. You have Coinbase launching Mag 7 plus the Bitcoin ETF, basically, right? You have Coinbase launching this kind of stuff, yet AI in the crypto space has done absolutely nothing. This is like the marquee AI coin in the system, and it's stuck at 323. You know, it's literally stuck at the apex of a giant triangle. And when it gets unstuck, I think it's going to move a lot. A lot. But now, of course, you look at it right now and you're like, well, that's all boring. And my comment is, if something like Pyth, right, can go up 70%, then come back down to support, that's what all of these coins have done, especially TAO. Like, they've gone up, but they've been ignored. We're ignoring AI, and I'm trying to find the tweet, but Coinbase is like, we're the everything exchange. Come here to trade the Bitcoin ETF, or come here to trade the Magnificent Seven. I'm like, all right, well, guys, love you, mean it, but stuff like this, like what, like just like let's do something shocking. Let's zoom out. Like what has this thing done? Nothing. Like all the AI components of crypto. You've had some cross-chain stuff rally. Like, we'll tease this. I don't show the chart, but I didn't even know this existed. Ever heard of Merlin chain? Like high APY on Bitcoin? This is trading with a nice rounded bottom. We're going to feature this in one of our reports. I can't tell you whether it's going to be I'm calling it dip, sell, dip, hold, or buy. Can you believe that these things are even out there? 41 million market cap, layer ones, 2 gaming plays this morning. This stuff's everywhere. And the computer wants to take profits in it. I'm like, the computer wants to take profits. What is it? And whatever the computer wants to take profits in, I'm like, wait a minute. That means there are profits to take. That means this stuff, the market is rallying from the bottom up. We just can't see it yet. You can see it in Ethereum and Solana, but we're not seeing it across the board. And I don't think anyone's talking about it. And with Bitcoin dominance on support, you may actually get, like I said, you may actually see the final dip. Now, are you going to see the final dip now? No, because everyone got the final dip or got a dip at 107, and now they want 107 back, and they're not getting it, right? Then it'll go up. Then it'll be like, I'm FOMOing in. Then they'll drop it. Then that could be the final dip. You can't have a dip until everybody FOMOs in. I know that's counterintuitive, but it's going to be a really interesting month with 2 eclipses going on. Okay. Grandpa Keeter is in the house. Sir, welcome. UPXI. Sir, I would be happy to do that for you, and I appreciate the super chat. By the way, these people who are super chatting, they're members across the complex. That means they got YouTube and Patreon, and they're super chatting. It's seriously our best advertisement. Okay, so UPXI. I do not know what this is. Kind of an unbelievable gap, and then the gap gets filled with a gap. One thing about this, whatever this is my first thought is they just can't stop hating it, can they? This could be one of these treasury companies. I don't know. But whatever it is, they can't stop hating it. They gap it up. Look at this. Sell, 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 gap down. Squeeze. Down every day. Up again, down 3 days in a row. They can't, they can't stop hating it, whatever this is. Right? Gap it up, gap it down. Rally, 10 down days in a row. Rally it again, smack it. Right to the apex of a triangle. Whatever this is, it reminds me of the rest of the market. We're so bullish, but we're not long. We love altcoins, but we're not buying anything. Not buying anything. I mean, let's have a laugh, right? So whatever this is, okay, my point of this is what happens when they stop hating it? When the bears go, we were wrong. We can't push it down. And then what's it going to do? Boom. All of these coins could do this. Let's have a laugh. The machine wanted to buy Pump.fun. I was like, I got to get a new machine. You know what I'm saying? Like Zach XBT put out this like list of influencers that, you know, are not in the main influencer group. Guys overseas or guys pumping meme coins overseas that they're not even disclosing that they're long. Sometimes these meme coins are like ruining the ecosystem. Then again, there's going to be a launch pad for new stuff and someone's going to win that game. I don't know if it's Clanker or Bonk or Pump.fun. But what happens if Solana goes to 400? Is anyone asking these questions? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think anyone's asking these questions. Okay, we have T-Bone in. Oh my God, the super chats are increasing. Gentlemen, thank you. Appreciate that sincerely. Okay, MicroStrategy. Another stock that people just simply and plainly do not understand. They don't. They don't understand them at all. So one of the things you'll note about MicroStrategy is on a 4-hour chart, it hit its discount zone. And that's the market update. This is underperformed to such a degree that it's at its discount zone on a 4-hour chart. Crazy. If you go to a daily chart, okay, you know, they're selling it into a giant LuxAlgo support zone. I mean, Michael Saylor has a moat that no one can get past. I mean, the guy's adding Bitcoin, 5,000 Bitcoin at a time. And everyone's like, oh, whales are selling. Whales are getting out. Whales spending and Glassnode. Whale liquidation. Okay, bro. I mean, you realize, again, equilibrium in MicroStrategy is somewhere around 395. The stock is currently at 351. I mean, I think at this point, you have to like start using your imagination. You have to start asking yourself some questions about stocks, which is what we covered in the reports. What happens? But we'll ask this question now. What happens if MicroStrategy hits support and makes a new high? And hedge funds are all short, just like they were all short Ethereum. Like you have to ask yourself, what happens if fill in the blank trades like Ethereum? Right? Michael Saylor and Metaplanet are just quietly hoovering up everything. Everyone's quietly making fun of the Bitcoin treasury companies. Really what they're doing is they're just diversifying out of the dollar. That's all. And once upon a time, I don't mind telling you that, you know, during the Jordan Peterson interview, everybody, Michael Saylor told the story about he was banging his head against the wall on how to create value at MicroStrategy and all the things that he did to try to make MicroStrategy as a company and a stock go up, and nothing worked. And now they do nothing but sell the stock. Insiders are selling, everyone's selling, everyone out, no one likes it. Okay, dude. Okay. I mean, there's the whole debate as to whether or not you're better off with MicroStrategy or Bitcoin. I don't think that's the question. The question is, are you better off with MicroStrategy or NVIDIA? Right. In other words, maybe the best way to look at MicroStrategy is to also look at NVIDIA. Right. So NVIDIA gets to its premium zone and comes off. MicroStrategy never went up. Never went up. I mean, if the AI trade and the Bitcoin trade are tied together, and I know, I understand that, you know, NVIDIA is a different beast, right? But, you know, NVIDIA is parabolic on the upside with questionable accounting, okay? And MicroStrategy has done nothing. Nothing. How is that possible if it's the same trade? And of course, you're going to tell me, oh, it's not the same trade. And I'm going to tell you that there's a guy named Jordy Visser who hasn't been wrong about anything ever. The guy was at 30% allocation in an equities portfolio. He wanted 30% in Bitcoin a year ago. How's he doing on that? If you look at MicroStrategy versus NVIDIA, it really isn't that NVIDIA has to go down, or although, you know, their accounting is, all right. But, you know, this is wrong. Something's wrong here, right? MicroStrategy needs to go up, or NVIDIA needs to go down, or both. You know, Marathon Digital made the top stock, the top crypto stock list. Look at how laughable it is that you have, you know, MicroStrategy, Marathon versus NVIDIA. Marathon makes Bitcoin. Marathon buys Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin hedge fund that can produce its own asset. What is there anything to talk about? Is it like that's the market update? We're done, right? Aren't we? We are absolutely done if this is what the picture looks like. You know, look at the extent to which they, you know, Galaxy Digital and NVIDIA were tracking each other, and then Galaxy Digital got completely spanked. By the way, does anybody know why Galaxy Digital got completely spanked? Does anybody know why Bitcoin was at 107? Can you tell me? You know, you should, the YouTube thumbnails. I mean, we realize we have to track, you know, thumbnails are an attention game. I get it. But, you know, people were like, oh my God, it's over. It's over. When people want, it's over. It's not over. I did a short. Why is Bitcoin down? Okay, I got a normal number of views, and then all of a sudden I went to look back like 2 weeks later and had like 5 times the normal number of views when the market was seemingly stable. Everybody's all wound up about the market going down. Everyone's wound up about the cycle ending, and I'm talking about the cycle hasn't even started yet. You're going to probably get one more shot. You're going to get one more shot. I mean, you can sort of tell, right? You can sort of tell that, you know, there's kind of a general lack of enthusiasm. It's like everybody got squeezed out from the BS April shorts, but it's not like the market is like gapping higher. It doesn't feel like 2017 yet. Somebody got bearish on crypto once. UPXI is a Solana treasury company. Okay. Well, that makes perfect sense to me. No wonder they hate it, right? Look, there's not that many Solana treasury companies. And eventually they're going to start looking at Solana as the home for stable coins and DePIN, which it is. And then there's the Solana phone, which no one cares about, which is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, right? I mean, it's like, you know, if I get money, it's on like a top 5 purchase list. Seriously. And no one believes it. It's above 200 and no one cares. Right? I mean, it couldn't break through 180 for 14 months, and now it's just sitting there above 200, the way Bitcoin sat above 70K way back in the day. Nobody interested. Cycle's over, right? No, dude. The cycle will be longer than expected, probably. But what about the compressed cycle? What about these suppressed crypto stocks? What about TAO? What about every single freaking coin that we come up with? Let's welcome who's here. Bull Runner, what's up? Philip, Felix, I hate bearish Bill. Real turnoff. Dude, I am not bearish. Why does everyone think I'm bearish? Dude, I'm talking about final dip. Dude, dude, I love you. I appreciate you watching the show, but dude, I have 2 complete Bulltard videos in the YouTube member area. Dude, there is nothing bearish about this market. There is an eclipse playbook. There's nothing bearish about this market, dude. Nothing. Bearish Bill, I avoided bearish bill by walking away at the end of October, not doing it. But dude, I get it. I know. All right. Felix is like, if stocks go down, it's bullish crypto. You're right. Toby said that this morning. Guess who? Chicken Boo, the one person hedge fund, is here. Hello. Side Hill Forging, another new member. Welcome. Yav, guys who have been here for a long time. Rave Song Records. Philip, what's up? Cypher Hops, that's a new name. Grandpa Keeter, T-Bone. Welcome to the show. Bob M. Hot Mess Express. Marvin, welcome. So AI cryptos like FET could explode. Dude, they could all explode. The first robot that you have working in an office, it's going to be like insane. It's going to be insane. There's been no trades. I mean, there has been some trades. There's been a proliferation of coins, but the good coins have not moved yet. Bob M. Silas, welcome. Kim Craig is in the house. Baby Whale. Some of the originals. Never mind. Not a fan of World Liberty. A1. Music Miracles. Big Rich. Murdoch. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Right? Music Miracles. Could have been up 50 to 100K on Hemi from just a $500 bet. Remember, folks, and this is part of the new thing that we're doing. This is the new thing that I haven't got fully together. The boss lady wanted it ready today. I couldn't get it done. There are coins that you're going to be able to take some money in, buy back, shave some off, buy it back, and then FOMO in at some point this September. Okay, Bob M. does not trust Arthur Hayes. Well, Arthur Hayes got everybody out of ETH at 2,000. Naughty. Okay, but he is right about what they want to do. He is right about what they want to do with stablecoins. TC Crypto is here. Music Miracles. Wolf Riot Star. Welcome. Final word, Arthur Hayes in the Treasury. You know, Putin has the advantage in Eastern Europe. We certainly don't have control over what goes on in the Middle East. That's another country running things over there. Somebody in the antivirus community told me this morning that he can't get a UPS package in France because this trade war thing has gotten so ridiculous that they're holding up all US-based packages in France. Among other problems. You need to be grateful for what you have. You need to realize that you're on a clock for a compressed cycle. I am not bearish. Oh my God, please. I am not bearish at all. If there is a final dip, you get on that. If there's no final dip, well, forget about it. It's crazy. I mean, you definitely want to maintain core longs. And there's a huge component of this market, which is absolutely hanging in there and has not gone down yet. Please visit us in Patreon. If you like reports, we got them. Please visit us in the premium YouTube channel. There are 3 new videos. While everyone was complaining about the cycle being over, we just made videos, including today's podcast and the report that is attached to today's podcast, which is also in Patreon. So if you like reading, we have listening. Some people do both. Baby Whale remembers 2021 when he made 10K on Litecoin. Dude, those days may come back. Those days may come back. I never thought we would see 2021 again. Dude, Ethereum could be the warning sign that you have a suppressed altcoin market. I think you have a suppressed Bitcoin market because everyone gave up on that. Okay. Wolf Riot Star says, do I get access to Patreon as a platinum member? So a Patreon has 2 tiers. So if you get the Patreon platinum member, you get everything that goes in Patreon. YouTube is separate. Again, in case someone just wakes up one day and shuts us off. We cannot take that. We are too small to take that risk. One day when we're big, we'll have our own website. You can go there and get everything. Okay. In the meantime, we'll be happy to answer your questions. Okay. There's Patreon, you know, like middle and high end. They get everything in Patreon. YouTube is Toby and our new deluxe video book reports. So if you get everything, you get everything. You get stuff to listen to and read. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the market update. The summer is over. We are back to work. We will see you tomorrow.